And welcome back to the High School Star League. I am Seamoose, joined by Octavian, and coming up we have Game 2 out of this best of 3 series between Mission San Jose High School and Fleetwood High School.
And the last one was certainly quite enjoyable to watch. I hope this one is half as good. Oh no, I hope it's just as good. Let's get our hopes up.
I was going to say, half as good. That's a little bit short, but I was very impressed. Fleetwood High School last game, they had a well thought out composition and they really just took advantage of Mission San Jose incredibly well. So we'll see what they decide to go for this game. 1 second, as again, these are replays, they're not live, so I just want to make sure everything is coordinated as far as production is concerned. But Octavian, are you loaded in?
I am indeed.
Alright, so 3, 1, unpause.
Alright, sitting at 13, 14 seconds.
Yep, same here. So good to go. Taking a look at these compositions, so a little bit of a style switch. PA actually is going to be running Ziggs this game. So he thought last game on Azir he wasn't able to wave clear enough. Instead he's going for Ziggs, the master of disaster and probably the single best champion for stalling games out.
That's very true. I mean, Azir had that capability, but no one does it quite as well as Ziggs, except maybe Anivia, but Anivia's not seen play in a while. Teimashi, once again, he has a habit for doing this. Walks way too close to the bush, might be able to get out though. Command Protect from 7-1-1 will keep him safe. He does have to burn the flash over the wall, but at least it's better than dying.
Are we sure this isn't game 1? I feel like we've seen this before. Teimashi forced to flash away. At least he didn't die.
Deja vu.
Yeah, at least he didn't die, but king of the top now.
Ooh.
Mission San Jose. Okay, king of the top. Buddy, you don't have flash.
There's no respect. There is no respect for Mission San Jose here. They are as 5. You cannot take that on. King in the top. He's going to be losing his kingdom pretty early.
Yeah, they're probably going to be kicking themselves after this game. That is, just like you said, a lack of respect. Something really interesting, by the way, back to the picks that we don't see very often is a Gragas support. Rank K. I'm curious to see if they decided to take that away from Mission San Jose or if he, just plays that champion. Either way, it's a really interesting pickup, and we'll see how it goes along in this game. Another interesting thing to point out is that it looks like Mission San Jose High School are going for a lane swap.
That is true. Malala is going to be starting off in that Krugs, rather, as the side of Fleetwood starts the Gromp.
Octavian, Octavian, it's a full jungle clear. They're going to steal all of Teimashi's jungle. Plus the fact that he's died and used flash already, he is going to be so far behind.
I feel honestly sorry for the guy. This is just about as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
And now they're looking for potentially the 3 or even 4-man gank in the top lane if they choose to bring Kimikezi on Sejuani up into this one as well.
Some pretty high level play from Mission San Jose.
King in the top is
no flash.
He has no flash. Komikaze is going to charge on in on Hecarim. He's down to half health before he gets under the turret. The hook connects. Kimikeze just there to tank a few shots. Doesn't even get the assist, but he did his job. That'll be another kill going over to the side of Mission San Jose.
Not only that, but now King of the Top is forced to use that teleport. I actually feel like they maybe should have frozen the wave and tried to deny him, but even without denying him, he's going to be so far behind. We do see Teimashi working in the enemy red side, so he's going to try and take a couple of buffs to catch up. But just as a whole, Mission San Jose have put this jungler and top laner very far behind.
Yeah, and at very little cost as well. I mean, even if they lose this red buff, they just about trade even in terms of buff and come out with 2 kills up. And the only real pressure disadvantage they put themselves at is that Trank can roam around basically as much as he wants because there's nobody in the bottom lane. Oh, Flay back as well. And of course he still doesn't have flash up, so had that been... Had Sejuani been around to capitalize on that, he could have been very dead once again.
Gank in the mid lane, PA taken low.
PA down to half health. He does use the Satchel Charge, or Satchel Ducky, to get himself out of trouble, though. And Komikaze finally takes up home in the bottom lane.
Ziggs could be another one of those champions as part of that line of bouncy house champions. just that Ducky itself seems like a bouncy house commodity. Oh, Frank. out.
Is once again in the top lane. I mean, if you find a spot that hurts, you just keep pressing on it to flash forward from Komikuzi. The Ignite is burning one more auto attack, and that'll be a kill going over to Thresh.
Mission San Jose do not seem like the team of last game. They have made such early aggressive plays and so coordinated as well. They picked up 3 kills so far, and wow.
Well,
really,
to be fair, you say they don't look like last game, and true, to the magnitude of what's happening, they don't look like last game. But in the form of what it is exactly that's happening, they do. It's early game pressure. It's laning phase. They won laning phase in the majority of their lanes last time, everywhere but top, if I recall. And even top sort of won because 2 kills went over to the Aurelia. And now they're just pulling it off again. Another dive on the king in the top. They are not giving this guy a moment.
This is dangerous, though.
Perhaps this time they'll pay for it. Trank is roaming on up here, and Malala, with the Ignite burning, does have to flash away.
Trank doesn't have flash. Malala probably didn't expect the Ignite coming from the Gragas. Thought maybe, oh wait, that's not a jungle Gragas. That's actually support. Oh, yeah. But a bit of a misstep there, and Trank barely made it back to this top lane to keep King the top alive. However, they are still early in the lead. And yes, you are right. Last game, we did see a great laning phase coming out of Mission San Jose squad, but it was in traditional lanes. They have played this lane swap very well so far.
That is very true. It's a whole different beast, and they're handling it just as well. But Kimikaze is once again in the top lane. A flash from him forward on the king in the top, who still doesn't have his up to answer in kind. Malala is here with a few rockets, and Komikuzi actually gets the kill in the end. 2 of them going on to Thresh here, not ideal. But it's another one on, more importantly, it's another one onto King in the top. He is kept down even further.
Are you a fan of Queen, Octavian? Another one bites the dust. Another one bites.
Certainly not a fan of King right now in the top lane.
Yeah, Mission San Jose, they have had absolute control so far, and it really has been only through plays in this top lane.
Well, to be fair, I say I'm not a fan of him, but it's not entirely his fault either. It is somewhat because he burned the flash, and then went back and died anyways.
Alright, let's remember how he burned the flash, though.
He was not respectful enough.
Yeah.
But he's been arguably over-punished for that. They have taken so many advantages off that one flash, and in kind, we haven't seen Fleetwood take too many back.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like you should do what it takes win the game. So if there's a rumble without flash, I would sure as hell take advantage of him. But you are right. Fleetwood High School really have left King in the top to his own. Trank tried to gank, and he ended up dying as well. So this early game really hasn't been going too great for the rumble. And you could see that in the items. You know, he almost has as much CS as the Hecarim, but he has an Amp Tome and boots. Not really going to be able to build that penetration like Rumble's going to want to, so he can get some damage in the early and mid game.
Komikaze is going to be swapped up to the top lane, and it looks like the lane swap phase of the game is over, and we'll be able to see if perhaps Fleetwood can work better with the 2v2 rather than the 2v1, if that was the sore point.
The problem,
it seems to me it wasn't really, but maybe they were just really unfamiliar with the lane swap.
The problem is, though, that once again, our Light has gone with that Tear of the Goddess Ezreal, and he is up against a Jinx 1-0-3 with a BF sword already. That is going to be a hugely problematic item mismatch. And yes, our Light is a fantastic Ezreal, but there's a certain level that your skill can take you, and when you're seeing an item discrepancy of this magnitude, your skill might not be enough.
I mean, there's the wild card of the Gragas support there, though. We might, perhaps in the 2v2, that would work out better than Thresh. I'm really not sure how to put that. But Arlight is going to get playback, does shift over the traps, but they were kind of put there to force that shift out. They were looking to just make him run. They're going to put the pressure on here.
Komikuzi probably should have flayed him into the choppers, because even if he shifted out, I think they would have been able to get more damage on. But either way, landing that hook is going to provide so much damage. Now, Kimikaze in the bot lane, and if I'm not mistaken, they didn't see him. So if another hook lands, he could throw that lantern out. That being said, though, they are at a level advantage. Our Light is level 7 to level 4 and 5 of the members of Mission San Jose.
That is the benefit of being in basically a solo lane throughout the entirety of the early game, with Trank roaming around as well. He wasn't there for most of the time. Arlight has a massive level advantage here, and that might be enough just to keep the fight from breaking out. Hecarim going a bit aggressive as Trank is going aggressive as well. Here's Komikuzi down below at
great chompers.
Points, but a beautiful chomper. Absolutely beautiful. We'll keep Komikuzi safe. And the Lantern will pull Malala to safety as well. But the hook under the turret. Trank is burning from the Ignite. There's a teleport coming in. And the ulti is there for Malala. He got the level 6 during the fight. Komikaze, now with his level 6, going to be charging in onto the exposed Ezreal, who walks back. Doesn't get killed by the Ziggs ulti. That was off screen. I didn't get to see exactly what prevented that.
We're still fighting.
Malala gets flashed onto the knockup. Holds him in place a little bit longer, but Teimashi has nothing left to follow it up with.
Trank.
A kill for Fleetwood so far. 5-0 against them.
He was looking for it, you know, but fantastic mechanical outplays from both Malala and Komikuze. I mean, they pick up the kill. That Pro 711, he's looking for something, and does have a decent amount of damage.
King at the top, though, and King is really weak right now.
Okay, low on mana.
They don't seem to want to go for the fight anyways, yeah. Lack of mana from Komi, as well as lack of health from PI, means that they won't be able to take this one. And Trank is back in time, alongside Teimashi, who's full health. They might be able to take the dragon fight. There's a
high steal potential
off to the side.
Yeah, you can jump in, Lantern out, stay alive, and they can't see the ward. This could be a steal.
Oh. No, doesn't quite get in the Lantern. Doesn't go through, gets interrupted by Trank. Kimikaze, in desperation, turns around with the ulti, but that will not be enough.
Wow, great body slam from Trank. They do pick up the dragon, and that's the first kill we've seen so far for Fleetwood High School. So they are down, but not out just yet. Still, they need to be careful.
Look at King in the top. He's 0-3. Oh, whoa, actually, look at Malala and Arlight. The red buff on Arlight means that Malala has no chance in this 1v1.
Wait.
The Q misses. There's the ulti, and he does have a chance.
You spoke too soon.
Arlight misses a Q and then lands right in the middle of the ulti.
That's pretty rough, man. He missed one skill shot. Then he dies.
That is... it's a tight match here in the bottom lane, and if you miss anything, you can end up giving up the ghost. But as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted by 80 carries dueling, who does that? King in the top has a CS lead. That's not what I expected to see here.
Well, the King is on top of the horse. But you're right. Komikuze has had a rough time in the top lane. To a certain extent, that is because Rumble's early damage is so good, and no Trinity Force build-up from Komikuze. He went immediately for those Mercury Treads and then the Home Guard, so he just kind of wanted to be a little bit more helpful to the team. However, this could be an angle that Fleetwood High School will take advantage of if he can maybe get a solo kill or they decide to dive Komikuze. However, at the moment, still a comfortable 1,000 gold lead for Mission San Jose, and they do know when the dragon is up, so I'm sure we'll see a fight around there, if not sooner.
What is 1,000 that big of a deal at this point? If King in the top isn't down in the pit, whoa, actually, Komikaze is committing to this fight, and maybe he shouldn't have. The equalizer, he does manage to gallop his way across the side of it, but he'll be forced out of the lane, and as I was saying, if King in the top can pick up a 20 CS lead at this point, was all that investment as worth it as it could have been? Yes, Malala still has the gold from the kills, but it's sort of evened out. Their keel is evening. They are no longer in a horrible, horrible storm.
Yeah, but the fact that this Jinx has any sort of advantage is a nightmare. Almost has the Infinity Edge completed and up about 1,000 gold over Arlight on that Ez. If we look at the team compositions, Mission San Jose, all of their champions scale incredibly well, especially Malala on this Jinx. So it has been impressive that Fleetwood High School have come back, and a lot of that has been on King in the top, you know, dominating this top lane after returning from the lane swap. That was a little bit unfortunate for himself. But
he seems to be quite good at the 1v1.
Yeah.
And perhaps not quite as good at handling a 2v1 lane, at having to play scared. Really.
He could be a solo queue god, but if he doesn't have that practice in the 2v1 lane swaps, then it's a situation where even the best players can become very uncomfortable in.
It's just such a different paradigm than the 1v1 matchup, especially as Rumble, such a lane bully-faced champion.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the mid lane. We haven't talked about that matchup at all, actually.
That's very true. Well, it's not been all that
Well, okay, both
exciting.
They're both 0-1. They both have 113 to 114 farm. I don't know, Octavian. That's pretty exciting to me. You know, just throwing out the skill shots, the Qs, the balls, dodging stuff. We did see a couple of ganks actually from Tamashi early game, and none of them were successful. So I am a little bit impressed that PA has been able to stay even in CS. But gank at the top lane.
Here comes Kamikaze. He's trying to turn around this disadvantage.
Done.
That just really should not have happened. King of the top will go down.
Flash too. That is huge. You're gonna go down like that.
Gets chunked away. He's down below half health. Ro16 seems to have come out ahead in this seemingly even mid lane. It might just be due to the blue buff he's currently wearing. PA tosses out a Q over the wall for some good damage, and the rest of his team is here to turn that 1v1 into a 3v1.
And with this Jinx now, Infinity Edge completed. Ro16 doesn't have his flash available. He has a decent amount of wave clear, and he has a team behind him, but this turret's going to take a lot of damage.
Oh, Milela gets pulled under the tower, but another beautiful lantern. Komikuzi is saving people left and right.
I wonder what those names mean.
Already chunked a half, though. I have no idea. I'm just trying to deal with them and not say the wrong one over and over again. Did they using me enough?
Did they intentionally do that to mess with casters? Because if that's the case, that's pretty cruel, man.
You know, I just consider it a challenge.
True.
Going back to Queen, of course. It's a challenge against all the human race.
Oh man, these sick references, man. Oh, but another turret taken in the top lane means it's now a 2,500 gold lead for Mission San Jose High School. So you know what? Komikaze says, so long as my opponent isn't here, I can win the lane. However, King in the top has done a decent amount of damage to this top turret, so I'd like to see him maybe try to bully that so they could pick up their first turret of the game and get some global gold around. For now, it looks like he might be roaming into the mid lane.
Speaking of globals, we do have Dragon coming up in about 8 or 9 seconds from now. And we have Rumble roaming down out of the top lane, so we might be seeing Fleetwood go for a fight around here. They do. That's the one decisive advantage in their favor here, though. Honestly, it's not too decisive. It's just a single Dragon buff for him.
There is a lot of wombo potential if either Gragas or Rek'Sai get on multiple members with the Orianna ball. That shockwave could be huge.
And while Trank is a support, I mean, gold or not, the Gragas ulti is still valuable. Because he gets chunked to about half health. That's not good. That's their smite right there, getting some health lost.
This is all about landing the poke now. Landing the zap, landing the command attack, landing that bouncing bomb. Whoever hits more probably going to be able to win the fight. And we see Hecarim waiting for the teleport. We are seconds away from what I'm assuming is going to be a very explosive fight.
And probably very decisive as well if Fleetwood wins it. If Fleetwood comes out ahead in this fight, it could prove the ladder that they need to climb out of this pit. Hook over the wall lands onto Taimashi, not who they want to go in on, though.
Yeah, positional advantage now in favor of Mission San Jose. They probably don't want to start this dragon, but oh my goodness, this dragon dance is so tense.
They do have the crab buff on the side of Fleetwood. That's going to help out quite a bit, especially consider it's uncontestable vision. That is what is so powerful about it, because other than the crab, that is just lit up blue all near that dragon pit. So it's probably one of the things that prevented Mission San Jose from going for that dragon, instead rotating mid.
I agree. How much damage they can do to this mid turret. They have the Jinx, they have the Ziggs. It's going to go down very quickly. Are we going to see the fight?
Tamashi is going to burrow in and unburrow out. And there is the double ulti from Orianna. Two people locked up right where they don't want to be. DI going to be going down as well to Arlight. And this looks to maybe be the way back in for Fleetwood. They do turn around a few kills. But it's going to be a 2-for-3 trade. Close fight. But still, if they can get a few more of those, if they can get this kill onto Malala, there's the heal. Arlight is incredibly low, though. Teleport in onto the tunnel. Trank is playing the front line, keeping him here, trying to keep this fight going long enough for King of the Top, but he stepped on a flame chomper. No.
Wait, the ult?
Oh, does it land now? King of the Top eats it.
Arlight remembers the last time that he got ulted. And what
not a pleasant experience.
No, not at all. That was such a close fight. At the end there, Arlight almost got baited. He went in. You should never use that arcane shift to go in on Ezreal, especially against the enemy AD carry, because you might be heal baited like you just saw. That being said, though, he does make it out alive, and actually that fight ended up being in favor of Fleetwood High School, if I'm not mistaken.
Crab is expired now at this point.
Yeah, the thing is, though,
that might be the dragon again under fire.
Jinx not in the area yet, and Rek'Sai teleport means we might just see another fight here instead.
And because he's just going to start it off right in the face of danger, he does peel away once Rek'Sai shows up.
And we're back to the game of skill shots.
The game of skill shots and ward control. In terms of ward control, it's been historically Mission San Jose winning it, but there are a few more red dots of light on the minimap.
Yeah, Fleetwood have a few wards on the map. At this point, though, they are going for the dragon instead of the turret. This turret's going to go down. The equalizer.
The equalizer only lands onto 2, though, and it's kind of alone off by itself away from the team fight. Komikaze will go down, but Pro 711 manages to get that kill. Trank, now what? He lives just by the skin of his teeth. 1 for 0 trade, hey. Trank, yeah, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, not in League of Legends. Ooh, hook onto King on the top. He's going to get played back. This might be the re-engage they need. The shockwave gets interrupted. Malala is getting hyped, and he is chasing them down. He gets the triple, and Kimikezi picks up another one off the back of it. That shockwave getting canceled was disastrous.
Mission San Jose's AD carry and mid laner this game have had incredible positioning, and really, especially Malala. He is 6-0-6. He hasn't gone down once so far. Now, 4,000 gold lead. Mission San Jose High School have the definitive advantage, and they also picked up a dragon. But if you're Fleetwood High School and you're talking about what's going wrong this game, I think a ban for Milala's Jinx might be important for the next, if we go to game 3.
Or maybe just not giving up, maybe giving a lot more respect in the jungle. A lot more respect, because that snowballed the laning phase. That did really put Jinx ahead. And also perhaps looking for the lane swap, trying to get King in the top in the 1v1, because he just does so much better in it, as we're seeing right now against Komikaze. Komikaze. Forcing the ult out. He might not get away, actually. Maybe I begin to speak too soon. The Gragas ult tosses him the wrong way, though, and Komikaze will escape.
That Komikaze is not a kamikaze. He does make it out alive.
Is there a kamikaze?
There is no kamikaze.
Komikaze? Komikuzi? They don't even go with the opposite.
I know.
They just don't like me.
They just want to troll us. All right. We're professionals. We move on.
I don't move on. I never forget.
Octavian never forgets. Never forgetting.
Getting pulled out of the bush there as Kimikezi shows up as well, and this might be a very dead Rek'Sai. Looks like that is the case. PA picking up that one, and nothing more to it than just a simple pick.
Yeah,
wrong spot at the wrong time.
Mission San Jose have not forgotten the fact that they have gotten picks onto Teimashi before. Kind of surprising considering he has that tremor sense, but I don't know what's going on with him. He hasn't had the best game himself. Last game was much better, but I really would like, just like you said, Fleetwood High School to respect the fact that Mission San Jose, you know, they do damage if they land these skill shots. Whoa, speaking of damage, they feel confident enough to start this Baron, and with Junkler down, might just get it. Fleetwood High School, no idea.
Malala with that minigun is going to be doing so much damage to a target just sitting there taking it, so this thing's going to go down pretty reliably. They don't need more than 3 people here. The jungler, an extra tank, and Malala's damage, more than enough.
That is now a 6,000 gold lead. Look at the gold difference between the individual champions. The Jinx is up over 3,000 gold against Arlight's Ezreal. That is huge. Almost 1,000 gold difference in between the mid lane. Even King in the top lane is behind in gold simply because he's died so much. With a huge CS lead, he's still behind. Every single member of Mission San Jose High School are in the lead at this point, and with that Baron buff, their siege is going to be pretty damn strong because both Ziggs and Jinx are going to be very good at taking down turrets.
And it's not even just the gold lead, the level lead is here as well. PA and Malala are both level 13, and there's There's nobody. Only the solo laners on the side of Fleetwood are even at 12 yet.
3-shot barrage now to clear the wave, but that is on a very, very long cooldown.
And Ziggs is starting to become a menace. I mean, with that Luden's Echo completed and the cooldown reduction from Morello's, as well as the mana regen, he can afford to toss out bombs that hurt.
And it's nice that Malala has that Vamp Scepter now as well. He has a 55% crit chance, but he also has the sustain. Just in case he does get poked out, he can easily lifesteal back up and they continue the siege. Two members, both solo laners actually, trying to deal with the split push means that it's actually going to be a full rotation in this top lane. Interesting. Gonna be able to clear it, but that loses.
Managed to land some poke under tower. Timmy taking a lot of damage here, though. He's below half health. There's the shockwave, but it only hits minions. The flash, at least, is burned. The Gragas ulti doesn't land either. This is disaster. Tomikozy going into the back lines.
Oh!
The turret falls. Malala gets a huge speed buff, and he's just going to wreak havoc here.
Mission San Jose.
The Quadra. Does he get the Quadra? Where's the announcement? No, that was stolen away.
Wow, what a fantastic fight. That's actually going to be the surrender vote coming out. 25 minutes in. Mission San Jose fight back. Octavian, we are going to a game 3.
And it seems like Mission San Jose, their strength is in the early game. They know how to play it, honestly, frankly, a little bit better than Fleetwood does. And they got to snowball that hard this time. Last time, Fleetwood managed to pull back from that deficit. It wasn't so falteringly huge that they couldn't, but this time it was just too big.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to make for a very exciting Game 3. But we are going to take a bit of a break. We'll play some music for you guys and be back in a couple of minutes.